We are back. Another episode of the Wolves Only podcast powered by JWX. Holy shit. Look what the cat... this is really cool. This is really special.
Yeah.
You guys, you probably, if you follow any sort of fighting sports, you know who Blake is. And we have a lot in common, and we've been trying to link this up for a minute now, but welcome, man.
Man, good to be here. I'm glad I'm here. The Wolves podcast.
The Wolves Only, baby.
I feel like a wolf. Before I was just a one-man wolf pack.
Yeah.
And now here we are.
Yeah, here we are. We got a full pack with Freddie at the helm. Man, there's a lot to talk about, and I'm trying to kind of dial in exactly where I want to begin. I have been watching your come up lately. And I'm not talking about your fighting come up, although that's another story. But you're leveraging your audience at a whole nother level. There are not many fighters that are able to do what you're doing right now. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's like very taboo. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but like when I moved down here, the people that I was training with didn't have the same mentality that I had, and it was a lot of growth. It was a lot of possibility. It was a lot of like, hey, I'm gonna make it into the UFC no matter what. Like, I'm gonna make it happen. And I was the only person that was willing to pack up everything that they had inside their house into the car, and I moved into a fighter house in Irvine, California, and lived there for like a year before I found my new place. But
when was this?
This was back in 2017. Yeah, Thanksgiving of 2017 is when I moved down here with the dream and the idea of going after it and chasing after what I knew would inevitably be mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is though, like moving into the fighter house, you were probably one of the older guys in there.
Yeah, so I was 27 when I moved in there, and yeah, I was one of the older guys, like there was an older fighter on the team, Carla Esparza, but she was already in there. She had already won a world title. Chito Vera was there, Alex Perez was there, but still those guys were younger than me, but I didn't think of like necessarily my age. I just thought about like the opportunity.
Yeah.
And I was like, whatever it takes, I'm going to do whatever I need to do in order to get to where I need to get to.
No, yeah, and it's cool too because I liked what Dana had to say. Obviously you proved him wrong. I mean,
yeah.
I was talking to Jake, my marketing director. He's he follows everything really tight, and it was like really incredible to see that mindset shift with him when he was like, you know what, like you've proven yourself.
Yeah, because the thing that slowed it down was COVID. Mm-hmm. Because I would have gotten there earlier, but COVID threw a wrench in the plans. Like, it's like for a year and a half. I was about to have my fourth MMA fight, and then 2 weeks before the fight, I was waking up at 3:30 in the morning. I was going to the UFC Performance Institute with my friend Ashley Evans-Smith, and I was getting ready. She was getting ready for a fight. I was getting ready for a fight, and everything got shut down for about a year and a half. And then everything started opening back up, and then boom, we just started taking massive action right away, and we just kept taking fights and winning fights, taking fights, winning fights. And then we got the opportunity after I had just became the 2-time world champion over at CFFC. And nobody thought that I was gonna win that fight. I was fighting Glover Chekshire, student, Alex Pereira's teammate.
Okay.
I was training side by side with Alex Pereira before he was the man that he is today. But his coach, Glover Chekshire, was the world champion at the time. And he was in his corner, and he knocked me down a few times in the first round, but I came back and knocked him out in the third. Yeah. And that set me up. As soon as I got done with that, they were like, hey, it was a battle for like who was going to be. So I had one manager that was saying, yeah, you know what? After this fight, we get a big win, you're going to the UFC. And then I had another guy who was pitching to be my manager because I had no contract. And they were like, okay, well, we can get you into the UFC. And they tried giving me like 1 week notice, 2 week, like, hey, can you make weight?
Do they seem to do that to you a lot? Because earlier we were talking about that, and it was like, what? Why is that? Why I don't understand why. Like some fighters, obviously, maybe it's just what their tenor, like how does that work? Because when you to imagine, and we're going to get into this in a little bit here, but to imagine, like, you know, to ask an athlete to be like ready to go.
Yeah.
And like you got a week.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and I stay ready, you know, but also at the same time, you know, like some people are really good like that. Some people are like, oh yeah, you know, like, psh, I'll do it right now, anytime, let's go. And for me, I wanted to make a statement and just make sure that like I was, because there's a difference between being ready and fight ready. Mm-hmm. Like you could be a good shape, but to be in fight shape is a little bit different.
What is the biggest difference? Is it cardio? Is it?
Yeah, I think it's just having. I think it's actually like more so your CNS, like your central nervous system is more adapted to like all the hard sparring that you've gone through. And some people do better. Some people are just like, oh hey, I haven't been laying up in bed with fear of all these fears that might happen. I might get knocked out, I might get submitted, I might get put in this situation, thinking about that guy and how hard he's training for the fight. And some people are just like, okay, yeah, it's quick notice, it wouldn't look that bad. And some people do better like that, but me, I like to prepare a little bit, although I'm always ready.
Yeah,
I'm always
well, we were talking about
ready.
that, and it's like
Always.
It's evident.
Yeah,
it is really clear. And you're like, this is the best thing, and I think why you've had such an incredible viewership. Is you document everything. It's like day in the life.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
people love that, by the way.
Even from the first fight that I had, my first pro fight. So for my highlights when I first moved to California, so they called me the boogeyman. That's why I moved from Minnesota down here, because I was like, hey, I've been with you guys for like 3-4 months now. Like, do you have a fight for me? They go, we don't have anything for you. You're like the boogeyman. Like nobody wants to fight you up there. I was like, okay, well that's cool. I'm flattered. However,
that was in Minnesota or just
that was before I moved.
Okay,
so that was 2017, probably in the summertime, and then that's what made me move. I go, well, if I moved to California, would you be able to get me fights? They go, of course. I go, well, let's go.
Yeah,
you know, and then from the first fight that I got, I documented highlight, first pro fight, second pro fight, third pro fight, the UFC, you know, Dana White Contender Series, UFC debut in Perth, Australia. Mm-hmm. You know, and so I'm so glad that I documented all of it, so you could see the journey and the progress. It's
incredible, and like you can warp speed your journey the way that you did it too, which is really, really cool. Because like, you know, I knew about you, I think before you knew about me, maybe not.
Yeah,
but because I think it was Dane. It was Dane Poole. Do you know Dane?
Yeah, I do know Dane.
Dane used to work for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Dane used to work for me. He had to take a step away from social media. His wife, his wife was having some health things that he had to focus on. So he had to focus on his family. And it was like, you know, working for me is demanding. That's Freddie. But no, we're still best friends. We're very close. But he was like, hey, I met this guy, Blake, at a community that you and I are both involved in.
Yep.
And I don't know how open you are with that kind of stuff.
I'm
Wide open?
Wide open.
We're both friends of Bill W's.
Yeah.
And I fucking love that about you.
Yeah. Same.
We have the most amazing thing that we can lean on with that community. Anyways, and I was like, interesting, and didn't really think about it since. But for some reason, and this is funny how this connection has happened. And it's like we literally, guys, if you don't know this is the first time we've ever met in person.
Yeah.
And it's as if we've been homies for a long time.
100%.
When you live, this is off track, right? But I'm just gonna fucking take it off track.
I love it.
When we fought the same demons, when we battled the same shit, it's amazing the connection that you have with somebody. Like, when you're an alcoholic, are you an alcoholic addict? What is your thing?
All of the above.
All of the above.
You know?
What was your get down?
My get down was towards the, you know, I really like psychedelics because I felt like it made
Sure.
me,
Hell
you know,
yeah.
it's like, you know, like that part in the book where it talks about like the most genius men do their greatest thinking and achievements and accolades like under the influence of alcohol or whatever, you know. So it's like, dude, but I take it to a different level. Like for me, like I started off with a microdose and it's not enough, you know.
Right.
And so now I'm eating 5 to 10 grams of mushrooms every single day.
Okay.
And it's like because I don't know how to deal with my little brother's suicide.
Oh.
You know, and so it's like it got like that, but it was always something to deal with something else, you know, and so it was psychedelics towards the end, but I mean also, you know, you threw a little alcohol with some tequila in there, let's get it going. 2 drinks of tequila, it's not what I'm looking for, so we add cocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
So I've never been, I've never done like any like meth, you know, crack, heroin. I've never done anything like that.
Me neither.
And thank God, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not putting it past me. I didn't know anybody that did it. So
Right, yeah.
it wasn't.
Yeah. If it was the right place at the right time with the right opportunity, it would have been taken,
yeah,
right? You know,
yeah.
but yeah, you know, it's like for a guy that is in the MMA community and that always is on point, always staying ready. Like I was just like, oh, I can't do any of that. Like I have to do like maybe Molly on the weekend or Coke or like maybe drink a little bit. But like once it hit the week, my mind like flipped back on.
So you were a binge guy.
I was a binge guy. I was a weekend warrior. And when it came down to like my week, I was obsessed. I was so obsessed with that because I go, okay, I might trip up on the weekend, but it almost got it out of my system. All of the tension and the tightness and the thought process of just like running through like how this guy might kill me in my next fight, you know, and that's what served it. So I'd grind hard all week, train like 5 hours every day, because my coach believed that if you didn't train 25 hours a week in skill training, not even just like going to the gym alone, and skill training, that you like you're a peasant. Like you don't like you're not even a mixed martial artist.
Yeah, 5 hours a day and you still train like that.
Still train like that. It's embedded in me.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Dude, and to think like I'm dreading. I'm like, I'm gonna go fucking to the gym for an hour.
Yeah. I went to the gym 2 hours before this, but I had a call with Sweet Sweat, so I was just like,
What's up with that?
Well, Sweet Sweat.
I mean, I don't want to.
Yeah, they wanna do like a little partnership deal, you know, and it's like kind of like the perfect. I learned a lot about them that I didn't know about today.
My wife wears those.
Really?
Yeah, I know a lot of women that do.
Yeah, so it's really good. I guess it's like good for like thermogenic. It heats up like an area and helps with circulation. So like albaline and Sweet Sweat are used mainly and primarily for MMA fighters and boxers when they're cutting weight, right?
Yeah.
Because what it does is it's a vasodilator for your pores, so it opens up the pore and allows water to pour out of you better.
I see.
And so what that one does, albaline will block off oxygen, which I didn't know. And it's not good for your body, especially when you're cutting all that weight and it's hard on your central nervous system. But Sweet Sweat improves circulation, brings more blood flow to the area. It helps with recovery and a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, this girl was like, Shannon was breaking it down, and I was like, oh, you know, like, because I used to have like sponsors that I would never use, like Delta 8. Like I had a Delta 8 sponsor forever. I've never once ever in my entire life smoked Delta 8 or would encourage anybody to.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
Rhino Rush energy drink. I'm sure it was a great company, but they told me, you know, also like they were like, hey, don't use it because like I don't know if it's approved for like the United States Athletic Drug Administration,
yeah.
USADA, you know, so I never used it, but but Doug is a great guy. He has a bunch of their products in like 7-Elevens and whatnot, and it's just like a quick pick me up, like energy shot, you know. But
Doug owns what's the other companies he owns?
Drip Drop. You know Doug?
Yeah, I don't know how, but I know him from oh my God, why do I like? Yeah, because right away, I when you said that, it rang a bell to me.
You know why he sponsored me?
Why is that?
Because
He's in Orange County, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he sponsored me because I was sober at an event that was like literally Wolf on Wall Street. Like it was like madness.
Is he sober too?
Yeah. No, I think he drinks. I think he'll like have an occasion. He's like yeah, has half a drink and like can just leave it. You know, I can't leave half of anything anywhere.
I say that to people, like you and I are like, that's like, we know this about like, you know, the idea of like a normal drinker can have 1.5 drinks, or that's what they drink. 1.5 drinks, they leave the half a drink and they go and they move on.
Yeah, they feel the effect, they don't like it, and figure they got to calm down.
Right.
My roommate's girlfriend drank half a bottle of wine, and like it's been in the refrigerator for like 3-4 months. I think she's like absolutely insane.
Yeah, nuts.
I don't get it.
We're all over the place right now, but it's whatever.
And so Doug, he sees me in this hot tub. They have like a stripper, and then I have my videographer in there. He comes and joins me in like this stripper. And we're all just like chilling in the hot tub. She's butt naked. I'm just chilling. We're having a conversation about her life back in Texas. And he's like, hey, you want a drink? I was like, no, I'm good. And he's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, man, actually, I don't even drink. And he's like, what? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, do you want anything? Like, you don't want anything? And I was like, I'm good, bro. I was like, yeah, I'm actually 100% sober. Like, I'm going to be heading back to my hotel room pretty soon here. He's
nice.
Like, dude, what? And I was like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna be having a fight coming up pretty soon. Dana White Contender Series is gonna be coming up. I was like, I just knocked out one of the top prospects in the country to become double champ on the East Coast. So yeah, I'm just kind of like staying focused, and you know, I came out here just because my sponsor wanted me to, and he wanted me to bring the belts. I got them right there if you want to hold them. And
he's like, I love it.
What? And he's like, and he hit me up like a week later, and he was like, dude, I got a sponsor. I got like that. A guy that's just like focused when there's just absolute chaos going around him. Like, dude, that was my entire life. That's why I'm good in the cage, is because like I'm used to just chaos my whole life, and I can just be calm in the chaos. And that's like my jam.
That's fucking awesome.
It's fun.
That's awesome. So, yeah, Freddie, we got to mark that sweet sweat too. We'll get that over to them.
Yeah.
And it's, no, that's fantastic. I you know, I've heard different things about sweet sweat. My wife likes it. She believes in it. I'm so big, I can't even fit one around me and make it make sense. They have like those. Huge,
the belly band.
Yeah.
Girls love those things. You see a guy wearing it, you're kind of like, oh, it's a little sus.
Yeah. Right? But if you're a fighter, it totally makes sense. When you're
anything.
Yeah. So with that being said, being always ready. This was a concept you and I, so earlier, you guys don't know this, well, we're going to have like the vlog to this, but we were walking around talking, and the concept of, you know, some fighters, and it's not many of them really, like can say like, you know, if they get dropped. Now I know you don't like to be dropped a fight within 7 days, but you can be.
Yeah.
You are capable to jump in a ring today.
100%. And then a lot of people
and weigh in.
A lot of people can't make their contracted weight within a week, and I can.
Really?
I can 100%. So I'm 175 right now. If they needed me to fight on 3 or 4 days' notice, I can make 45. Now the rehydration process and getting it back and being good the next day to go. The reason why I don't take short notice fights is because it's a risk.
Yeah,
it's a risk. So if I did do that, it's a risk to see like if I would be able to get it back and be good the next day. Because, I mean, a lot of fighters, when you see them, like, have a crappy performance, you're like, yo, what the heck? Like, what's up with this guy? Like, yo, he was so good, and now he sucks. It's like, probably had a terrible weight cut.
Really?
Probably took the fight short notice, too. Like, oh, man, that guy got smoked. He sucks. He's a loser. He's an idiot. You like, if, like, everybody that's watching this should go, the next fights that you see, Go to the people right after they lose. Go to their Instagram, and watch how people treat them and how people talk to them. It's the craziest thing.
Wow.
I've ever experienced. In my
Keyboard
entire
warriors,
life.
and I've never done that. You know, I do pay attention, but I don't. You know, I don't follow many fighters. I follow you. I follow, just like a handful, and then people who I'm friends with. But
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it's like I don't really pay attention to that. But now, you know, now that I'm like we're talking about it, it's gonna be the red car theory. Like I'm gonna be like checking it out.
Yeah.
And it's funny when there are disappointments. You wonder like, what's going on.
Yeah, a lot of them took the fight short notice. A lot of them, you know, personal life issues or whatever. A lot of them don't stay ready.
Right.
A lot of them don't stay ready, and then they get an opportunity. They need the money, and you know maybe they were working a regular job, which most people in the UFC are, and boom, okay, hey, you know I got 12,000 for sure, guaranteed to show. You know if I win, that's another 12,000. If I win in spectacular fashion, you know I could get fight of the night, knockout of the night, or submission of the night. So 12 to show, 12 to win, 24,000. You make a spectacular performance, 50,000. Oh. So now you're getting 205% of what you're normally making,
right,
to show up and win the fight. So it's like,
but with short notice and with a bad cut.
Yeah.
How often does it happen to where you can pull that kind of performance?
I don't know statistics, but they gotta be just like bad, really bad.
Yeah.
Statistic wise, like I'm a numbers guy, you know, just like you are, you know, and it's like, what are the odds? What are the odds? Not good.
No, especially if the other cat's, you know, if he's been on it for a minute.
Yeah, especially if he's, you know, because what happens is like, I'm getting ready to fight you. I get sick. Well, let's call Freddie. Freddie's like just drinking a beer and eating some carne asada, you know, and he gets a call, but he needs the money. So he's like, I'll take it. You know, and so 1 week notice, you've been training for me and I've been training for you for 2 months. He now just has 1 week notice. So he has 2 days to train for you and 4 days to cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 days.
And by the way, this just happened to you like the other day.
Yeah. 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 And, you know, and it's like, and when those are the only opportunities that you're getting, you know, people think that you, like, you know, it's like people are so quick to judge, right? Mm-hmm. You know, but if you haven't been a part of that life, you have no idea, you know, so it's like people might think like, oh, you know, like he's like this, he doesn't take any, he hasn't fought in a while. And it's like, well, I'm down to fight, you know, but I want a little bit of a notice,
right?
You know, it's like I want to prepare. I want to build the fight up too. You know, I want to market. I want to do the UFC's job and market for them to make sure that I'm a person that they want to watch,
right?
You know, and sometimes you're not afforded that luxury. It's interesting because I thought that it would be a different way, and it's different than what I thought it would be. So I don't blame other people for their misunderstanding. Just like somebody who never experienced any problem with drinking or drugs. Justin, I don't get it. Why don't you just give it up? You know, just stop. Just don't do it anymore. It's like, okay, well, for me, that's like eating one fucking Oreo out of the bag and then not trying to eat the rest of them.
Yeah.
No way.
There's
I'm eating the
way.
entire thing every single time.
I'm so glad you said it that way. 'Cause I can relate.
Yeah.
And Freddie, you just happen to be eating carne asada. You ready to fight him?
1 week notice.
1 week notice. You ready to go?
No, what?
Yeah.
I'll take. What is it? I'll take the where you just take the. What is it? Where you take the fall?
Yeah.
Yeah, first round, I'm out.
He's like, bro, bet 10 on Blake. He's like, I'm going down easy. Bet in the second.
So where do we go from here? Obviously, I don't know. Is the news about your current situation?
Not yet, but I mean, it's out there.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I did just get a call this morning. It was some unfavorable news. You know a little bit. You guys now know a little bit of like why it kind of came about. Is, you know, I thought that I would just be afforded the opportunity to have like a training camp, like maybe like 1 month even to prepare for a fight, and the UFC offered me 2 fights on 5 days notice. And I just told him, I was just like, hey, if you want me to fight at 45, I can't make the weight. And so I got a call this morning as I was getting done at the gym that I just got cut from the UFC. You know, yeah. So it's you know, it's just, it is what it is. You know, it's like if I knew then what it would be like now. You know, and I knew that it was very cutthroat, and I knew that, like, hey, you know, if you get an opportunity like that, you know, you have to take it 5 days notice. I just thought more opportunities would come. And I had 1 fight left in my contract. I got another fight left in my contract. They won't get rid of me. Plus, you know, I got a pretty big following, you know, so it's like, why would you get rid of somebody who has such a large following, you know? But they told me, they go, you know, you've been on a 2-fight losing streak. And we're just moving in a different direction, you know. So I guess, you know, 2-fight losing streak. I'm 34 years old now, and they just feel like I lost maybe the hype that was behind me.
I think that's a mistake.
I think it is too.
I think that's a mistake.
I think it is too. And
you know, there's it's just like watching this journey happen, and now knowing you, it's like, you know, I mean, it is what it is, but where do we go from here, you know?
Yeah.
And that's where the excitement comes in.
I think so too. You know, and I think when one door opens, like when one door shuts, another one opens.
It does.
And you know, it's like I was talking to some guys today, and you know, I just, you know, in situations like this that seem like super unfavorable, I go, look, man, you know, I'm gonna accept the things I can't change the things I can.
Yep.
That's all I'm gonna do.
That's it.
Yeah,
Serenity is a powerful motherfucker.
Yeah,
it really is.
I'm
dude.
just glad now that I have the tools.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
because if I wasn't better equipped with the tools, I would be super manic. I would be so lost. You know, but I know who I am these days, and I know that, you know, just because something like this happens doesn't mean even it's necessarily over with my career in the UFC. They could still offer me a fight, you know, like, hey, we know you're cut, but we're still interested. Can you fight on 2 weeks' notice? Like, that stuff happens.
Yeah.
That stuff still does.
Do you
happen.
prefer standing up though? You're a boxer, right?
Yeah. So I won the Ringside Worlds in 2016. I won the Golden Gloves in Macon, Georgia, off Martin Luther King Boulevard, super sketchy, in 2013. And then I won the regional, the state, and the upper Midwest. Well, I won the regional and the state Golden Gloves for Georgia, Macon, Georgia, in 2013. And I won the regional, the state, and the upper Midwest Golden Gloves, and I was a quarterfinalist in the Nationals in 2017.
And you kickbox too?
And I kickbox too, 10-0.
10-0.
10-0. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
You got it, but to do with kickboxing, you got to travel to like really get into like the serious fights.
Yeah. Like kickboxing, I watched when I was younger. I was a huge kickboxing M1 Glory fan. Like, just unbelievable fighters that and they fought and they.
What was like? I never followed kickboxing. What was Tate's deal? He was
Andrew Tate?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was like probably like a kickboxing champion for more of like he was a world champion, just like I was a world champion, right? Mm-hmm. Like I was a two-time featherweight world champion for CFFC. Very different than 2-time world champion for UFC.
Right.
Right, but he did fight in Glory, which is like a big deal. Like Glory fighters are like very big deal.
Where do they mostly fight? Like Japan and stuff, or
no, Europe?
In Europe.
Okay. Yep. Very, very popular in Europe. European kickboxers are like well known for just being like animals.
Well, you know who my favorite kickboxer was back then? Mirko Filipovic. Crow Cop.
Mirko Crow Cop. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Mirko Crow Cop, he'd be standing right here, and just that leg would come
Yeah,
up
left
just
leg.
so quick. Boom.
He used to say right leg hospital, left leg
cemetery.
Yeah, cemetery.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was, and his stare down, right?
Yeah.
He was so confident.
1,000-yard stare.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boom. Stare right through you.
Yep.
Boom.
It
Yeah,
was also funny when you'd watch like Vanderlei Silva and him.
Oh. Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it's like all the steroids that all those guys are on,
Well, Pride you were allowed to, right?
Oh yeah, it wasn't frowned upon. It was just like a normal thing. It's just like they wanted to see the most. That's why you see like smaller guys going with like giants in there.
Well, yeah, you'd see like what was his name, Mark Hunt.
Yeah.
And he would fight the weight classes were completely insane.
Yeah.
But Pride was actually, in my opinion, more fun to watch than UFC at that time.
Yeah, I mean, you had guys that were roided out. You had guys that were like super fights were happening all the time.
Yeah.
It was ran by like the Yakuza over there.
Yeah.
So it's just like so many stories of like people like not ever getting paid and like having their
really?
Oh yeah, getting their checks withheld. It's
Dude,
like,
I've seen Mirko Crow Cop. What was the cat that used to wear the karate gi? A Japanese dude. He was the only one that ever in Pride that would show up in a karate gi.
I don't
Kind
know.
of a fat dude. Anyways, there was a fight I watched. I remember this night. I was watching with my brother, and Crow Cop literally left kick to his left knee.
Oh shit!
Tap out. Done. He was like, I'm fucking done. He stood up and he was like, I'm done.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like it's so interesting. It's like MMA is like the only sport where you really try to keep a poker face. You do not show any emotion. It is like the most brutal gladiator type sport that you could be a part of. So like you watch the World Cup and it's like the guy will come this close and you're oh my god, oh my head, it's like and same with basketball. Boom, you fake the bump, you hold your chest, point to the ref, but it's like in MMA, you get an elbow to the face, get your orbital fractured, and you act like nothing happened.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like it's like so. It was interesting. So when I was getting sober, that's kind of the way I went about sobriety. Like if something really bothered me, I didn't actually know if it bothered me or not because I was so used to just suppressing everything. So I was like, oh, well, that's not a big deal. And then I would gaslight myself into believing it wasn't no, you're making a big deal out of nothing. Like this is you're over exaggerating actually.
I do that too.
Yeah, and so it took me a little while to learn to okay, no, I check in with other people. Hey, this made me feel kind of weird. I don't feel too good about it. And this is my perspective. There's two sides of a coin. There's probably their perspective, and I did something, but this is how I'm seeing it. And, if you ask them, they might have a completely different thing, and I actually could be in the wrong. But this is just my perspective.
Yeah,
and that's where things really opened up for me, and I definitely developed more emotional intelligence, more social intelligence, and so if anybody's telling me oh yeah, this person did me wrong and and this person does this, it's well, if there's a track record of people constantly treating you like this,
you're the problem.
Probably there's probably a pattern.
Yeah,
behind
you're the fucking problem.
yeah. Don't be a victim. Take responsibility.
It's and it's very common for people like us too. That that's what I know. I did. I did
me
for the
too.
longest time.
Me too. There's a scapegoat for everything, right?
Yep.
It's it's my dog died when I was 7. I never healed.
Yeah.
I had to do cocaine. I'm wait, what?
Yeah.
The only rooms where people hear that and they're like, yeah, it's tough. They semi agree. I get it. I did that when I was 14.
Life's tough.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, do you think boxing is going to be the next move?
Could be.
Fucking A.
Could be. I was thinking about it. I don't know. You can get a lot of boxing matches Like, and I'm a badass boxer. Like,
Yeah.
I'm good at boxing. Like, I went 18-2. My only 2 losses were in boxing, but that was at the semifinals at the Ringside Worlds in 2017, and then I lost in the quarterfinals to a finalist. He lost in the finals, but he made it to the finals at the Cajun Dome in Lafayette, Louisiana, for National Golden Gloves.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always good to see like the guy who beats you.
You're like, fuck, you better win the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah. You
God.
better.
I want to look like an idiot.
Yeah. He loses in the first round. You're like,
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
But that's actually not a bad situation either, because anything can happen. I see a different thing, a different future.
Yeah.
I see a big fucking community. I see like a big brand out of you, like just a really cool fucking. Because like it's interesting watching, like, you know, when you're training and the people that you're working with and stuff like that, dude. You're a leader.
Yeah.
You're a fucking leader. And I'm just getting to know you, but watching how you move, how you talk just now, things like that, it's like you have a very cool authority to you. And obviously, you know, being sober and seeing the things that we've seen in our addiction and stuff like that has leveled up our maturity and our understanding.
Yeah.
But there's 2 big things. Obviously, you know, your authority, and then the fact that like you what we've been saying this entire time is staying ready.
Yep.
The discipline that's involved in staying ready like that, we're like, you know, yeah, I mean, if I need to drop in a UFC fight in a week from now, like, okay, I guess I could.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And then you know, and then it's also like you're trying to mitigate the risk while taking opportunities too. You know, it's like, I will take this opportunity. However, you know, I believe that I'll get another one. And then they strip you of that opportunity and you're like, oh shit. Well, I didn't see that coming. You know, it's like I was trying to mitigate risks too much, but life is just, you know, it's like it's a chessboard. You know, we're learning along the way. You know, I'm constantly learning, and so it's like, oh, lesson learned. You know, but just because that door closes doesn't mean that it doesn't. There's not more opportunities that are available that are even potentially even better.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, and I really appreciate you saying that I'm a leader. You know, that means a lot coming from you.
That's the thing. And the funny thing is there's a lot of managers. There's a lot of people of authority. There's very few leaders.
Right.
Very, very few. There's a level of authenticity. There's a level of right now I'm taking these courses, and I just read this book, and they talk about locus of control. They talk about your internal and your external locus of control, and basically explaining like how we're wired. Okay.
Got it.
And like basically we're programmed, right?
100%. Yes, I base everything off of programming.
Right?
Yes.
So a lot of our stuff initially, our programming is determined by our upbringing, our parents, the ways that we were taught to live, right?
Yep.
Our political beliefs, religious beliefs, everything else is typically programming ahead of time, right? But that applies for like the negative things. That applies for like your own limiting beliefs. It applies to your own learned helplessness is the concept that I like to talk about, where it's like, and I've used the analogy before of like the elephant, like an elephant that's tied to a rope when it's a little baby.
Yeah.
And it hurts if it tries to pull away from it. And then over the years, it learns that rope hurts. Well, now you're like a 3-ton elephant. You could easily break through, but you're convinced mentally that's going to cause pain. So you don't even try.
Man, I relate with that so much. You know, like I think also if I was able to allow people to understand how much unlearning came with the process of getting to where I'm at now. Like there's so many people that talk that crap online, but it's like, dude, you have no idea. Dude, I've been suicidal, and I had an attempt in 8th grade. I just thought it was an everyday thing until I heard Andrew Tate say that it wasn't real. He was like, because my little brother committed suicide 2.5 years ago. God bless his soul. And he left 2 babies behind. And I was like, man, you know, it's like, it was tragic. When I got home from his funeral, from mourning his funeral, I got called and they were like, hey, we need you to fight in a month and a half against Glover Texture's student, Alex Pereira's teammate, Reggie Valdo Carvalho. And I was like, and I just looked around at my mom and my brother, and I was like, and I just saw that they were sad. And because of the books that I read, because of the work I did, I go, look, I'm either going to stick around and have a sad, grim look on my face and feel sorry for myself, or I'm going to take action and put something to my family name and make something of this and use the fuel from what had just happened and alchemize it into something good. And that's exactly what I did. I was like, all right. And it wasn't easy. Like people don't understand. Like when I got home from that, like I just was like drinking and doing coke like before I got onto the plane to go over there, because I didn't know how to deal with, I was dealing with it in the wrong way. I'm human as an addict, alcoholic, I was like handling it the wrong way, although I knew it was the wrong way. And then when I got back, I was having panic attacks. I got on the treadmill and I couldn't even run a fucking mile. Yeah, and I gotta fight this fucking Brazilian monster in a month and a half, and he's coming to take my title, and he was talking shit to me after I won my first title when I choked the guy unconscious. And so that guy was gunning for me for a while. And he was ready for me when I won that title in December. And I fought him in April, and the thing with my brother happened February 27th. And I fought him April 16th. So it was literally, February 27th, February 28th is the end of a month and a half. Yeah. I had a month and a half to get ready and to deal with it and to carry that on my shoulders. And I didn't tell anybody in the promotion. I didn't tell my manager. I didn't tell anybody. And CM Punk, I told after I knocked him out, and I was like, anybody that's dealing with mental health issues, anybody that's going through depression or having anxiety or just down and doesn't know how to deal with that emotions, I feel you. I was like, my little brother just committed suicide 6 weeks ago. I was like, and this fight was for him. And CM Punk walked in. He was like, hey, we just heard. We didn't know anything about this. And like, I'm so sorry. And I was just like, look, man, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. We got to go on. We got to fight. We got to put our poker face on and act like nothing happened.
He's an interesting cat.
CM Punk?
Yeah. Great dude, right?
He's really cool. Like, such a cool, down-to-earth guy.
Yeah. I've heard different things about him just because, I have friends in professional wrestling.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I've heard really great things. He's a Chicago dude, isn't he?
Yeah. He's in the Midwest because he trained over at Duke Rufus, so he's got to be in the general area. Mm-hmm. And Duke Rufus's gym
all of his logos are all
Milwaukee.
like Chicago flag and stuff like that. But no, that's interesting. I mean, it's cool that he showed you a little bit of love for
a lot of bit of love came out in the back, and my coach was like, "Hey, can you take a picture of us of our team?" And we're like, "Yo, Flame, chill." Like, I see CM Punk, bro. He's like, "Oh, I don't know what that is." And I was like, dude, he's a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
I was like, he's like really good.
Yeah, he's one of the coolest professional wrestlers.
I was like, he's one of the top dogs, dude.
Yep.
I was like, but he also does this on the side because he loves MMA.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously too. He's a punk rocker, hardcore guy. So
yeah.
I love him. Like, that was always one of my favorite guys to watch, just because he's my style.
Yeah.
You a Punk fan?
You know what? When I was younger, I didn't like him.
You didn't?
No.
Oh.
When, like. Yeah, I just did. I don't know. But
Okay.
now that I grew up, I'm like, yeah, maybe it wasn't that bad.
No, he's like, now that I work for Justin, I'm like, I'm all about it.
But you know what? I wasn't like, his style didn't appeal to me really either. I liked him when I met him.
Okay.
I met him and I was like, yo, this dude's sick. I love this guy. He's such a real one. He was like, hey, bro, like, he goes, hit me up anytime. He goes, I'm so sorry. My condolences. He's like, dude, badass fight of the night. We're going to get you fight of the night bonus for tonight. He's like, we're going to take care of you. Yeah. And CFFC wasn't really showing me any love before that. But after that, they were like, I was highly touted and I proved myself. I mean, my first title fight, I was supposed to fight one of their main guys. He said he got COVID. But he never got COVID. Oh. He couldn't make weight. Oh. And I knew that because the doctor told me that he got COVID, and then the president told me that his coach got COVID, and I was like, oh, I was like, interesting. I was like, well, that's cap. I was like, and I talked about it, and he never said anything about it because the truth will set you free, and he didn't want to lie about it. I was like, dude, I know Eddie Torres. I know that you couldn't make the weight, bro, and it's all right. Then they just pointed hey, you want to fight that guy? I was like, that guy right there, Frankie Buenafuente? Yeah, I'll fight him. Let's do it. Absolutely. Like, do you know anything about him? I was like, no. Hey, coach, go watch some film on him for 1 minute and come back to me. He goes, yeah, we'll take the fight. That's what he did. He was like, yeah, let's do it. I was like, all right, bet. Legendary Adam Lynn. Love that guy.
Nice.
Yeah. And we went and I was losing the whole fight, dude. I was getting my ass kicked, really. He was wrestling me the whole first round, second round, in between. I was just smiling on the Jumbotron, happy that I was there, dude. I was grateful for the experience.
Hell yeah.
And then second round, I found a way past his wrestling. He was just like super top heavy, so I got him in mission control and got my leg up, hit him with the omoplata, and then I brought the leg around, got a triangle on him, and choked him unconscious.
Dude.
Unconscious.
I gotta watch that fight. You gotta send that over
sick,
to me.
So sick.
Yeah, I love those comebacks too.
Yeah,
like that.
I was literally,
especially against wrestlers too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was.
Did you watch the last Canelo fight?
Yes, I did, against Berlanga.
Oh, yeah. And then, oh my God, what was the other fight that the same night? Because there was the Canelo fight and the UFC fight.
Yeah.
The O'Malley fight. What was the guy who did he fight? The little guy.
He fought Marab. Devalish.
You want to know what I pictured fighting him as like? Have you ever played Frisbee with a toddler? Imagine this, okay? Like you imagine when a toddler, when like like a little kid has a Frisbee and like he's like right by you and he like winds up and you're like, and he's like nut level.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm picturing? And you're like, dude, hold on a second.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what he was like, because he's like so like he's like he the whole time he was like in his grill and like jittery as hell.
Yeah.
And you were watching O'Malley and he's like, dude, fuck, like, you know, he was in his head the whole entire time.
Yeah. I mean, you know,
he is fighting a toddler with a Frisbee.
Yeah, toddler with the Frisbee. He's frantic. He's got energy for days. His cardio, if it was a video game, his cardio energy bar just stays there the whole time. It never goes down by a little bit, like during the combination, then goes right back up. Like, it's unlimited. The guy could go as many rounds as he wants. And, you know, I don't think he has to cut that much weight. He did a lot of really good lateral movement and feints. And he got him to bite hard and big. And then he took advantage of it, and just boom, once he stuck to him, just took him down. And you know, Valentina Shevchenko did the same thing against Alexa Grasso.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like these guys won the world title, right? Or this guy and this girl, I should rather, you know. And Dana White was not happy. Like, dude, like it's such an interesting thing, you know. It's like it has to be entertaining. That's why Conor McGregor was so huge. That's why Alex Pereira is number 2 pound for pound, should be number 1. And because these guys go out and put on entertaining fights, you know. And if you get on somebody and you're wrestling with them and you're trying to get to position and it's hard, you know, people are like, oh, boring, you know, oh, this guy sucks, you know, like, and it's like, no, it's just such a high level.
Yeah.
And little mistakes pay big.
You're not kidding.
Yeah.
Well, this was fun, man. This was a really good time.
Yeah, this is amazing.
We're going to do this very, very soon again.
Yeah.
I want to do a series of these. Guys, if you're paying attention, okay, we're going to be doing a lot more stuff with Blake, just so you know.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to start working with you and doing some really cool stuff.
Same.
I wish we weren't cut short this evening, but I wanted to get you in here.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect. We've been trying to plan this out.
Yep.
And just like he said, it's our first time getting together, but it's like we've known each other.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like most people that are that know Bill W. You know, it's like we just relate on so many things, very similar personality type, and yeah, man, it's just awesome. I think when certain doors close, others open. And more opportunities present themselves at literally the perfect time.
I think so.
Yeah.
Right on, dude. Thank you guys for listening. If you like what you hear, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you check out Blake on Instagram at Blake the Builder. We will put him all the information right there so you can take a peek. And then we're looking forward to the next time. Thanks again for tuning in to the Wolves Only podcast powered by JWX. We're out.